he needed while he was in a tent in Iraq. Grantham University. Turns out that Grantham's been delivering affordable, relevant college and advanced degrees for over 65 years. Heck, if they can deliver a quality education to a soldier in a tent overseas, think about the flexibility Grantham can offer you so you can earn your degree too. It doesn't matter how complicated or full your life is, if getting a degree is on your bucket list, you'll want to do what my son did. You'll want to call Grantham. Find out how easy it is to get started on your education so you can check that college degree off your bucket list. Call Grantham right now, 800-910-1370. That's 800-910-1370. Flexible, affordable, relevant. Call 800-910-1370.
Tired of paying outrageous prices for Viagra? Well, we have great news for you. Now you can finally get Viagra at huge discounts. Healthy Man allows you to save up to $500 on Viagra. Why pay U.S. pharmacy prices of $15 per pill or more when you can get Viagra for less than $3 a pill? Call today and get 40 Viagra pills for only $99. This can cost as much as $600 at your local pharmacy. You can't afford not to call us. If you want Viagra at the lowest prices, never pay $15 a pill pharmacy prices again. Get Viagra for less than $3 a pill. Call 1-800-516-7602 today and save up to $500 and get 40 pills for just $99. Healthy Man is fast, easy, and affordable. Operators are waiting at 1-800-516-7602 to take your call right now. Call 1-800-516-7602. That's 1-800-516-7602. Again, 1-800-516-7602.
Attention business owners and independent contractors. This is a money-saving message from Tax Mediation Services. If your business owes $20,000 or more in taxes, we can help you today, right now. Listen, dealing with the IRS is no picnic. It's an intimidating and extremely stressful process, and you don't want to go it alone. Our attorneys know every law, every tax break, and every possible opportunity to help you resolve and reduce your tax debt. And if you owe more than $20,000, you may be at the top of their hit list. So don't take your tax debt lightly, because it will not go away on its own. The IRS can seize your bank accounts, your home, and even shut down your business. Call our tax experts today at 1-800-783-0810 and let us deal with the IRS while you focus on your business. That's 1-800-783-0810. Again, that's 800-783-0810.
KLRN Radio has advertising rates available. We have rates to fit almost any budget. Contact us at advertising@klrnradio.com.
The following program contains coarse language and adult themes. Listener discretion is advised.
I take a breath, I'm not gonna lose. This is what I came here to do.
Keep on doing what you do, Rick. You're my favorite host. Favorite.
I have come here to chew bubblegum and kick ass. And I'm all out of bubblegum.
It's time to hear the truth about America's biggest challenges. You're listening to America Off the Rails with your host, Rick Robinson.
Happy Sunday night, America. That's right. It is June 30th, 2024, the end of Pride Month. According to Michael Loftus, Slut Month starts tomorrow. Some of you know who you are. That's all I'm going to say. All right. Anyway, so we're here. We're live. This is the America Off the Rails show, one of the shows that kicked everything off on KLRNRadio, one of the longest running podcasts we still have that is live, even though it has moved around a lot, gone on hiatus, and a million other things because I try to do way too much. But anyway, I'm going to start off with a bit of a rant. So I hope you'll bear with me for a moment because I'm a little mad. Because, see, a lot of us bought into the hype from Elon when he bought X, formerly known as Twitter. Please change it back. Please. Just saying. And we believed him when he said he was going to make it the public square, like it was always intended to be. Suddenly I have a frog in my throat. Hang on. What do you know? As soon as I'm ready to go hot mic, all of a sudden my throat gets off a clip. Let me grab a cough drop. But I saw something today on this platform that I have now spent quite a bit of money to transition to. Better equipment, apps to allow us to stream directly to here, getting cameras, and actually even upgrading the cameras so we can start doing video feeds. Speaking of which, bear with me for a second because I kind of realized I forgot to do something. So, there. Some of you probably don't want to see my face, but you can see it now anyway. Just saying. Anyway, so what I was saying a second ago is I'm angry. And I'm angry for reasons. Multiple reasons. And I guess I probably should have exited out of everything before I just jumped into another stream because now I'm not getting number readings anymore. Not that I care about any of that. I can find it all later. Just realized I'm like, it shows nobody's here, but people are chatting. So I'm really confused. Anyway, so if you're watching us, please do me a favor real quick. Like the post from the station. If you're watching from my personal account, make sure you like that one. Repost it. Let folks know where you're watching from. And let's cast the net. But like I said, I have a bone to pick with Elon Musk. And I say all of this because, and this is painful for me to say, X has been really good for us for the month or so that we've been streaming on here, kind of an ancillary thing. And because of circumstances beyond our control at the moment, it's become our primary stream point. Because there are things that I need to be able to do that I can't do right now. So it's kind of been a good testing point for us at the same time. But my problem with all of that is I just had one of the people that has been with me for a very long time suspended for one of the dumbest reasons that I have ever seen. He quote tweeted someone and said LOLK and was flagged for violating terms of service for harassment. Now, granted, it was reversed within a few hours, but at the same time, here I am because of how good things have been going on X, actually considering investing even further. As a matter of fact, I have a news platform I haven't launched yet that was going to be launching specifically on X and was even announced that way. But because I've been trying to juggle too many things, we haven't really been using it yet. I hope to be changing that soon. But now I'm wondering if I shouldn't build a website for it. Because I have huge problems with someone saying, hey, we're going to make this the public square. I believe in free speech. You guys should bring all your stuff here. Let's make this the public square. And then we put all of our eggs in that basket. And suddenly one of your underlings, looking at you, wiffle ball bat Linda, decides to flip a switch. And all the work we put in is gone. I have a big problem with that. So, and I say all of this because, again, we have been getting some amazing numbers since we've been posting to X. Numbers that I used to get when I was on terrestrial radio. There are streams that have gone out to thousands of people. I was never on big market radio. I get that. But to me, when I'm used to 50, 60 people listening, all of a sudden I figure out I'm in front of thousands of people. Or at one point, through one network, I was pegging pretty big numbers, but that was out in California. So you could throw a rock in California and hit thousands of people. But X has been good for us. So I was actually considering investing in the gold check for both the radio platform the news platform, and I was actually about to put my production company on X so I could start hanging that shingle out and pick up some more clients. And now I'm wondering if I should be doing any of it. Because every time I turn around, somebody that I know is being arbitrarily suspended. Now, the person who was suspended today, like I said, it's been fixed. But I'm tired of them going in and fixing it and then not giving us answers. I'm also really tired of people that I know who have put a lot of effort into this platform to build their reach and to grow an audience, who then took the steps to do subscriptions and then monetizations because they've built the network to be able to do it, getting paused for no reason and no explanation. There are things that Elon Musk desperately needs to fix with this platform if he wants to make it what he says he wants it to be. Because I'm sorry, if you can teach a rocket to sit up and beg, you can fix algorithms. I have watched you laughing and joking and posting while people's livelihoods have been destroyed on your platform. This is unacceptable. I also have no delusions that you will ever see this, but it still needed to be said somewhere. All right, we're going to change over to the actual meat of the program because there are plenty of things for us to talk about. Bear with me because I just realized, unfortunately, there was some technical issues tonight, so I wound up having to join a stream in progress. So I wasn't able to do some of the work that I was planning on doing. So I have some chyrons and stuff that need to be updated on the fly. So bear with me for just a second. We'll just throw that one here. Okay, so what we're going to do now is let you guys hear some of the meltdown that happened after the debate from CNN. From actual CNN. Well, actually, if you're actually watching the feed, you'll be able to watch too. So, but here we go.
President and former presidents making their way off the CNN debate stage, just like Joe Biden, the First Lady, has come out, former President Trump walking off the stage. The first debate of the 2024 campaign and the earliest presidential debate ever now in the books and in front of the voters. Tonight, along with Aaron Burnett, first word on what those voters might make of it from our political professionals, from our CNN Flash Poll and Swing State Focus Group. We'll be talking to surrogates, including Vice President Harris, getting fact checks from our Daniel Dale and new reporting from inside both campaigns. We'll be here, CNN political commentator Scott Jennings, Kate Bedingfield, David Urban, Van Jones, Elizabeth Parr, Griffin, and News 9 anchor Abby Phillip, David Axelrod, and CNN Chief National Correspondent John King. John, let me start with you. Your thoughts.
Anderson, this was a game-changing debate in the sense that right now, as we speak, there is a deep, a wide, and a very aggressive panic in the Democratic Party. It started minutes into the debate, and it continues right now. It involves party strategists, it involves elected officials, it involves fundraisers. And they're having conversations about the president's performance, which they think was dismal, which they think will hurt other people down the party in the ticket, and they're having conversations about what they should do about it. Some of those conversations include, should we go to the White House and ask the president to step aside? Other of the conversations are about, should prominent Democrats go public with that call? Because they feel this debate was so terrible. They do say, in moments in the debate later, the president got better and got his footing, but then at the end, even his closing statement was a little halting. The contrast between the two candidates. Let me be clear. None of them, and a lot of Republicans, don't think Donald Trump had a great night. Donald Trump broke the fact-check machine more than I can count tonight. That will be on the record as we go forward. He refused to answer some very specific and direct questions about his conduct, about January 6th and what all. So that will be dealt with out there. And sometimes there's a parallel universe between the political elites and the American people. It'd be nice to see what the voters say. But I can tell you, it started minutes in. It started with the first couple of answers, and it has continued throughout the night from, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God, to what do we do about this? And it involves very senior people in the Democratic Party, including elected officials, saying we have a problem.
And just to co-sign what John is saying, I mean, the panic that I am hearing from Democrats is not like anything that I have heard in this campaign so far. And a lot of it has to do with, first of all, there was a deep frustration about Trump's lies. I mean, he lied a lot tonight. But the problem for Biden was that Trump was able to take sometimes incredible falsehoods and turn them into some kind of argument, whereas Biden's answers were, in a lot of cases, not coherent, deeply problematic, that he was not able to take pretty straightforward answers and answer them to the American public. And then also at some points, bringing things up.
All right, I don't know what happened there, but for some reason the audio is piping through even though it's not supposed to be. Like I said, I think things are glitching out because I didn't refresh. So
solidified
we're just going to have to go audio only for tonight. I apologize.
But especially among his base, they were hoping that tonight would be a game changer. They are now seeing a president who is in the White House, who they do not necessarily believe can do this for another 4 years.
David Axelrod?
Look, I can't argue with either of them about how Democratic leaders are reacting to this poll. We said at the beginning that each person had a fundamental goal. And for Biden, that goal was to appear energetic, engaged, and look like someone who is capable of serving for another 4 years for president. That was job number one. I actually think he scored a bunch of points. I think if you just judge this on sort of policy stuff, he did score a bunch of points on issues like abortion, for example, on some of the economic issues. But there is a feeling, I think there was a sense of shock, actually, how he came out at the beginning of this debate, how his voice sounded. He seemed a little disoriented. He did get stronger as the debate went on, but by that time, I think the panic had set in. And I think you're going to hear discussions that I don't know will lead to anything, but there are going to be discussions about whether he should continue. And I think part of it is Donald Trump did not meet his mission either. He could not resist the temptation to be nasty, to prevaricate about a whole bunch of things, about his own record, about Biden's record, and to seem petty and small at times. So what you saw was a candidate who's deeply vulnerable and a president who may not be able to take advantage of it.
Listen, if anybody in America thinks that was even close to being an okay debate by Joe Biden, I'm living in a parallel universe. That was an unmitigated disaster for President Biden from the second he walked out to the closing statement. The biggest issue for Democrats is abortion, and he couldn't give an answer. He gave an answer, he couldn't even give a coherent answer on the biggest issue for Democrats tonight. I've heard from leading Democrats across the United States, elected governors, congressmen, who are texting me and saying, I'm worried I'm going to lose if Joe Biden's at the top of the ticket. Bob Casey, I promise you tonight, in the state of Pennsylvania, is thrown up in his mouth because he knows that if he's got to stand next to Joe Biden, he's going down in Pennsylvania. If he's on the ticket, I don't know how it's going to work.
Yeah, look, it was a really disappointing debate performance from Joe Biden. I don't think there's any other way to slice it. His biggest issue that he had to prove to the American people was that he had the energy, had the stamina, and he didn't do that. And so I think that is of concern, and I think for a lot of Democrats, that's very disappointing. I will say Donald Trump also had some really rough moments in this debate, and talking to the Biden campaign, they say their dials started really moving away from Trump as he was increasing his personal attacks on Biden. So I think there was a lot about his kind of character and the kind of personal nastiness that he was putting on display, that doesn't help him with the swing voters that he needs. And I also think you saw him continue to get sort of more and more animated across the course of the debate and, give some really problematic answers about January 6th, some really problematic answers about Putin. So, Donald Trump did not get off scot-free tonight by any stretch. But look, there is no two ways about it. That was not a good debate for Joe Biden.
Ben? That was painful. I love Joe Biden. I work for Joe Biden. He didn't do well at all. He did not do well at all. And he looked...
Question. Would you build a website for a major brand with more than 200 million users
Can
using
you
Wix?
stop putting ads in the middle of a feed? Thank you.
I'll give you the analysis. You kind of have the old man versus the con man. I I can walk you through how I'm supposed to see it and say it, but I just want to speak from my heart. I love that guy. That's a good man. He loves his country. He's doing the best that he can. But he had a test to meet tonight to restore confidence of the country and of the base, and he failed to do that. And I think there's a lot of people who are going to want to see him consider taking a different course now. We're still far from our convention, and there is time for this party to figure out a different way forward if he will allow us to do that. But that was not what we needed from Joe Biden, and it's personally painful for a lot of people. It's not just panic, it's pain of what we saw tonight.
And if I may just add to that, I think Joe Biden lost in the first 3 minutes. I think a lot of voters probably tuned out, and millions of people are having conversations with their families, with their friends, of if the president is up to the task and if he should step aside. And I'm someone who believes the former president is a threat to democracy. I think he is a threat to the America as we know it. He wants to fundamentally change our institutions. He has laid out what his plan is. I am not confident that that is the man to take him on. You cannot tell me democracy is on the line and then give that performance tonight. If based on that, in 18 weeks, Donald Trump will be the president-elect.
The people doing focus groups tonight, and we'll see if our dial group with Laura Coates confirms this, say that Biden actually scores pretty well on the issues when he's talking about the substance. And Trump's numbers went down both because he was ducking questions, he was lying about some things, and he was refusing to answer. And some of it was the tone. They don't like him. So when you see that, when you see sort of the statistics, you're going to look at like, oh, that's a mixed bag. But to Vance's point about the president's performance, that's what caused the panic. So the question is, and my question actually is, what happens? Because it's a great political strength of Joe Biden is his resilience and his stubbornness. It's also sometimes a blind spot because he is so stubborn. It's going to be very hard to someone, and I don't know who it is, who could go to Joe Biden and say, you need to do this, number one. And the question is, again, like, I'm just telling you, to Abby's point, I've been doing this for 30-something years, going on 40 years, and I have never, ever had what happened on this thing tonight happen in the middle of a debate. It started early, and it continued. And to Van's point, Van made a very important point. These are people who love Joe Biden, who credit Joe Biden for kicking Donald Trump out of the White House. They're Democrats. The Democratic Party is a very diverse party. It fights about a lot of things. It has generational issues. It's had regional issues and everything else. The thing that unites the Democratic Party is trying to keep Donald Trump from getting back into the White House. They love Joe Biden for kicking him out. They don't want him back. They came into this debate nervous that Biden was in a weak position. They leave this debate panicked.
John, if you love the guy, how could you put him out there?
That's
if you love him, if you love Joe Biden, if that was my father, you don't put a guy in that situation.
It's a great point. These guys know this better. These guys know this better because they talk to them. There's this legacy in the Democratic Party. You don't challenge the incumbent because when it's happened in the past, they haven't beaten the incumbent, and then the incumbent has lost the general election.
It was actually Donald Trump that helped make Joe Biden the nominee because there was a feeling that if there were a primary, that would weaken, that Biden would probably win, but it would weaken him in a general election. And so there were people who could have run and didn't run because the history of that is bad. The point is now he is the nominee of the Democratic Party. This isn't the 60s, okay? Voters choose the nominee. He is the nominee. Only he can decide whether he's going to continue. And as you point out, and as Kate knows very well, this is a guy with a lot of pride and who believes in himself. And the idea that he's going to say, you know what, I had a bad debate, I think I'm going to walk away from this, I find it hard to believe.
All right, so there you have CNN basically having a meltdown after the debate, and this stuff continued. I'm going to see if I can find some more of the footage here in a minute, but before we get too far into this, I just want you guys to know what's coming down the pipe tomorrow. So tomorrow, SCOTUS is going to be ruling on the presidential immunity case. Now, my personal opinion and my hot take on this is there's no way they rule there's no immunity, because that would basically open every president, both past, present, and future, up to prosecution once they are no longer in office, which they won't allow to happen. They're not going to rule absolute immunity either. What I expect them to do is kick this back down to the lower court and say, in order for us to give a proper ruling, you need to denote to us specifically what it is that you're wanting to find out and what specific acts you feel shouldn't fall under the purview of any type of presidential immunity, because they haven't done that. I think it's going to turn everything on its head. I think it will have the same impact as them smacking the DOJ and saying, hey, this statute that was passed after Enron, it can't be used the way that you're trying to use it, because that just likely turned a lot of convictions on its head. It also likely is going to cause some of the charges that the left has been salivating over regarding Trump to be dropped. And when they do rule that a president can have some immunity and then kick it back down to the lower court and say you need to be more specific, the left is going to lose their minds. They've already been losing their minds. They've been losing their minds since Thursday night. Guys, I need you to remember, this was only 4 days ago. They have already gone through all of the stages of grief in 4 days, to the point where at one point, even Barack Obama was starting to say, maybe we need to get this guy out of here. And then I still hear from sources that you guys can read all over the place too, so I'm not telling you anything you haven't been able to see, that they may be publicly saying that Joe Biden is still their guy, but behind closed doors, they are having a fit. As well they should. Al talked about this some last hour, so I don't want to spend the whole show on it, but I feel like there's still things that need to be discussed. They knew. The media knew. Barack Obama knew. Jill Biden knew. They all knew exactly how broken this man had become, and they don't care. The Obamas don't care because they found their foot in the door for a third term. Jill doesn't care because she likes all the trappings and the power. I heard something today on one of the Sunday news shows that resonated with me, and that doesn't happen very often. You know, we now hear all throughout history when people talk about presidents, is the one thing they're really worried about is that they don't want to be the next Herbert Hoover. 100 years from now, they're going to be saying nobody wants to be the next Joe Biden, because she's been the one running the country. Hillary Clinton and Barack Obama have been helping, I guarantee you, but Jill Biden has been the one running the country. She was the first one when people started coming to them and saying, hey, this was really, really bad, and they're starting to see how bad it really is. She was the first one that said, no, we're not leaving. Now Hunter Biden has jumped on the train and said, no, we're not leaving. None of these people are looking out for Joe Biden. They're looking out for themselves. Joe Biden cannot legally make this decision. The ruling from the special prosecutor made that abundantly clear. This is why they wanted to tar and feather him. We have a person with the nuclear football codes that has been declared non-compos mentis. I need you guys to understand what I'm saying. Now, I'm not saying that he should be replaced. I honestly don't think there's anybody that could beat Trump at this point, because if they do replace him, it's just going to prove that they don't give a crap about anything that they've been spouting. I mean, I've literally heard Joe Walsh. The only thing that matters is beating Donald Trump. The only thing that matters is beating Donald Trump. The only thing that matters is beating Donald Trump. Here's the sentence he left off of this multi-sentence tweet that he put out. I think it was earlier today. Even if we have to destroy democracy to do it. Ladies and gentlemen, they can scream and yell about MAGA all they want. They can scream and yell and call anyone who supports Trump a terrorist all they want. These people are the ones that have been behaving as such over and over and over again. Now, I'm not saying there aren't people within the MAGA movement that are just as bad. Austin Peterson comes to mind. If you haven't been on my feed yet, I don't suggest you go there for a few days, because he decided to come after a friend of mine, actually a couple of friends of mine, and we had followed each other for a very long time. He was one of the big political accounts that actually followed me way, way, way back in the day, and I remember being excited that he did. I don't know I would say I don't know what happened to him, but after listening to him and watching him implode on his own timeline, I do know what happened to him. He got raw dogged by the Libertarian Party. He then tried to run for Congress and got no traction. He then just recently in this election cycle offered his services to the DeSantis camp and didn't even get a reply. So now as soon as he sees anybody who has ever posted anything positive about DeSantis come into his feed trying to, say, hey, why are you saying this stuff? You're just a DeSantard. No, we have questions. Like, why in the hell you think Vivek Ramaswamy, otherwise known as Bollywood Beavis, is the best choice for VP? I'm not saying he's a bad choice for VP. I'm just saying don't stand for the dude like you think he's the best thing since sliced bread, because everybody knows that he's not. If you go find Ramaswamy's social media feeds, you will find that he has changed identities 5 times as far as what he believes and what he stands for. That's not that uncommon for young people. I'm not necessarily faulting him for that. What I am saying is he doesn't need to be a vice president until he actually knows what the hell it is that he stands for. Because in the words of the old song, you got to stand for something or you're going to fall for anything. And that's pretty much where we are right now. We have so many people that have gotten so drunk with the exposure that they get on social media now that when they feel that exposure is starting to fall away, they go insane. This is what's happening to Austin Peterson live on X for everyone to see. And he is still painting himself as the good guy, the hero, and the victim all wrapped into one. As a matter of fact, when other people that also know the person that he was attacking came into his feed to defend this person, he then started attacking them. Then he decided to make the comparison that you can't act like Hamas on October 7th on my timeline and then not expect to get IDF'd. That is not a sentence crafted by a well man. And I don't say that lightly or easily because, again, I used to respect him very much. But it has been kind of fun watching him implode the same time the left is imploding. Speaking of the left imploding, have you seen Keith Olbermann lately? We're going to be talking about that when we come back from break because, oh my God, is it glorious. Unfortunately, again, because we tried to do a hot show switch back to back, which I've done on other nights and it hasn't been a problem, but for some reason it was tonight. So tonight there will be no video feeds other than my camera. Normally I try to show you guys the videos that I'm playing, but for some reason it's causing an audio feedback loop when I do. And I think it's just because something glitched out on the feed when I tried to switch back over so fast. But we are going to take a really quick break. When we come back, you know what? I already have I have a bumper program that I can use for that. Never mind. I forgot. I'll just use the one I use on the weekdays right now. That's not it though. Is it? Oh, yep. There we go. All right. You're listening to the America Off the Rails show live on KLRNRadio. We are America's podcast network, and we're also your closing act for the evening. So hang out. We've got another segment. We may run a few minutes long because we got a little bit of a late start. Technically, we do an hour, so we'll probably run for at least the hour. Stay tuned.
You are listening to KLRN Radio, where liberty and reason still reign.
My son was in the Army back during Desert Storm, but even then he wanted an MBA. He looked at a dozen schools, but only one offered the online education and flexibility he needed while he was in a tent in Iraq, Grantham University. Turns out that Grantham's been delivering affordable, relevant college and advanced degrees for over 65 years. Heck, if they can deliver a quality education to a soldier in a tent overseas, think about the flexibility Grantham can offer you so you can earn your degree too. It doesn't matter how complicated or full your life is. If getting a degree is on your bucket list, you'll want to do what my son did. you'll want to call Grantham. Find out how easy it is to get started on your education so you can check that college degree off your bucket list. Call Grantham right now, 800-910-1370. That's 800-910-1370. Flexible, affordable, relevant. Call 800-910-1370.
Tired of paying outrageous prices for Viagra? Well, we have great news for you. Now you can finally get Viagra at huge discounts. Healthy Man allows you to save up to $500 on Viagra. Why pay U.S. pharmacy prices of $15 per pill or more when you can get Viagra for less than $3 a pill? Call today and get 40 Viagra pills for only $99. This can cost as much as $600 at your local pharmacy. You can't afford not to call us. If you want Viagra at the lowest prices, never pay $15 a pill pharmacy prices again. Get Viagra for less than $3 a pill. Call 1-800-516-7602 today and save up to $500 and get 40 pills for just $99. Healthy Man is fast, easy, and affordable. Operators are waiting at 1-800-516-7602 to take your call right now. Call 1-800-516-7602. That's 1-800-516-7602. Again, 1-800-516-7602.
Attention business owners and independent contractors. This is a money-saving message from Tax Mediation Services. If your business owes $20,000 or more in taxes, we can help you today, right now. Listen, dealing with the IRS is no picnic. It's an intimidating and extremely stressful process, and you don't want to go it alone. Our attorneys know every law, every tax break, and every possible opportunity to help you resolve and reduce your tax debt. And if you owe more than $20,000, you may be at the top of their hit list. So don't take your tax debt lightly, because it will not go away on its own. The IRS can seize your bank accounts, your home, and even shut down your business. Call our tax experts today at 1-800-783-0810 and let us deal with the IRS while you focus on your business. That's 1-800-783-0810. Again, that's 800-783-0810.
KLRN Radio has advertising rates available. We have rates to fit almost any budget. Contact us at advertising@klrnradio.com.
The following program contains coarse language and adult themes. Listener discretion is advised.
I keep forgetting I have a camera on. I haven't done this with cameras for very long, so if you just watch me spaz out on my chair, I apologize. All right, we are back. We are live, and you are listening to America Off the Rails, the Sunday night show, and it's a little bit weird tonight. I kind of forgot I had a camera on. Anyway, so I was looking for the footage that I wanted to play. I can't find it, and honestly, I don't know how much time we really have to be playing it anyway. Yes, Al, you wrecked all the things. Anyway. Actually, it wasn't you. It was my fault for not following up with you to make sure you knew how to use this thing. But when I realized you didn't, I hopped on real quick to make sure you were on the main feeds. Anyway, so we're back. We're live. And yeah, I completely forgot I had a camera on. So this is why I don't dance. But I'm a white dude. Everybody knows white dudes can't dance. Oh, wait, that's white dudes can't jump. I can't do that either. Anyway, so back to Keith Olbermann. Keith Olbermann. So I just want to remind you guys, I opened the show talking about a friend of mine who quote tweeted someone and said LOLK and was not twit mode, but suspended for several hours. Keith Olbermann, the day after the debate, called for CNN to be burnt to the ground. And he still has his account. If you need to understand how unhinged these people are, you need to look no further than, as Glenn Beck used to call him, Mr. Overbite, because he lost his mind on June 28th. Absolutely lost his mind on June 28th. It was, I think it may have even been the night of the debate. So it may have been that Thursday. I just know I didn't see it till the next day. But the next day was delicious anyway. I talked about it some on the afternoon show because Micah and Joe were at each other's throats. Micah was fighting back tears because she's still Team Biden. For a second, she thought Joe wasn't, and she would randomly kind of choke back emotion throughout their entire 4-hour show. And then you had folks on The View. I can't believe Joe Biden is this bad. Why has the media been lying to us for this long? You are part of them. I'm just gonna point that out. Yeah, I mean, yeah, Al, he wasn't exactly wrong, but he could have phrased it differently. I keep waiting for them to go on fire sale so I can buy them for $1 like old boy did with Newsweek. I keep threatening to put Stacy in charge, but she said she just rebranded to a more successful and better HD TV, and that's not necessarily what I was going for. Anyway, but yeah, I'm just saying, he's not wrong, but I'm kind of surprised he still has his account. And then now he's attacking moderators. Now I'm no Dana Bash fan, but I have to admit they did a much better job with the debate than I thought they would. And they were pretty spot on with telling everybody how they were going to do everything. They kept control with everybody with the mics. They told them they weren't doing live fact checking. And then so now because Biden didn't have the common sense to try to push back on anything that they claim Trump lied about, keep in mind they haven't supplied a single thing that he supposedly lied about. The only one that tried to do anything was Vindman, who was on X talking about how Trump did absolutely nothing about the Russia-Ukraine war while he was in office. The invasion happened under Obama, bro. And then Russia didn't do anything for forever until Biden got into office. This is something else that I haven't been able to make everybody understand. So let's just assume for the moment that everyone is right and that Donald Trump was a Russian stooge. You really think Biden or Putin would have waited to do anything until after he was out of office if he was a Russian stooge? Meanwhile, you have China flexing muscles all over the place while Joe Biden is insisting that he's not in China's pocket. Just saying. I mean, I know it's not nice for me to talk about old demented people, but China is asshole, and he's doing everything they want him to do. But again, China is asshole. I'm just saying. I don't understand anything that is currently happening. Well, let me rephrase. I understand everything that is currently happening. What I don't understand is how at any given time 35 to 37% of the country cannot see what's happening. You have a diehard group that will not let go of this weekend at Bernie's motherfucker, and I don't know why. You've seen him shit the bed on live TV on multiple occasions. Now you've got the press sec, otherwise known as Sideshow Bob or Corinne Jean Air, whichever nickname you prefer for her, trying to tell everybody that the videos that we were seeing before the debate were not even deep fakes. They were cheap fakes. I don't even know what the hell that means, but they were cheap fakes, meaning that people were cutting them at the best times and blah, 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 yada, yada, yada. You had the president of the United States watching a paratrooper demonstration, turn around and start walking off to talk to someone who wasn't even paying attention to him and was there so long that the Italian prime minister grabbed him by the elbow and started leading him back towards where the actual photo op. Like, hey, bro, we're over here. She did us a salvator. Imagine how much worse that would be. And then even before the debate, you had the big fundraiser where Joe Biden, who did look like for a minute he was pausing and enjoying the adulation of the crowd. And then you could see the lights go off. And Barack stood there for a second and was like, Now, the lead that got buried with this, very deeply buried, wasn't the fact that Barack Obama grabbed him by the elbow and let him off the stage. It was the fact that he was worried that if he didn't do it, how much longer would he just stand there checked out for the world to see? This is what they've been trying to hide from you. This is why every time someone tries to show you what has happened to Joe Biden since 2020, nobody wants you to see it. I'm not even saying it's his fault. We watched Barack Obama age 20 years and 8. This man was ancient before he stepped in the front door. But it's time for people to face reality. I don't say any of this lightly, and I don't want to replace it any more than you do, but I will be surprised if we are not in World War III before November. Because China, North Korea, and Russia saw how weak we looked on that debate stage. They saw it. There's no way they didn't see it. Now you've got his spin team going, well, he's very active and very alert from X amount of time until X amount of time. Thanks for letting them know exactly when they should do stupid shit. Appreciate it. Then you've got all of the media now trying to walk back General Order 66. I'm telling you, the bat signal went out. The Haberman signal, whatever the hell you want to call it, went out, and they were doing everything they could to start pushing Joe Biden out the door. The problem is, folks, if he doesn't agree to go, their only other option is to 25th Amendment him. And then they're going to have to acknowledge how broken he actually was and is to be able to do that. So they have painted themselves into a corner. Then you have another problem that nobody has talked about. The fundraising rules for these campaigns are insane. If they go open convention, their fundraising has to start over. Unless someone who's actually already named on the ticket steps in, their fundraising has to start over, and they only have 4 months. These are the things that nobody's talking about when they're like, oh my God, they're going to replace him. This is one of the reasons why any time, and I haven't said this until now because I've been letting it play out, and you're gonna, if for those of you that are listening to me for the first time, because I know we have a lot of folks tuning in that may not have tuned in before because our numbers since we've been streaming to X have been crazy. But you need to understand something. I'm a former private investigator. So I will watch and observe and know things and save them until I need to use them. As an example, one of my favorite cases I ever did was catching a guy cheating on his ex-wife in a motel, like actual, Motel 6 kind of thing. Windows facing the streets, blah, 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 yada, yada, yada. So I'm sitting there outside the motel room snapping pictures. And I don't know, I was kind of in the zone. So somehow I alerted him to what I was doing. So I saw him start coming out of the room. So I dropped my camera into a bush that was there. And then I start wandering aimlessly around. And please don't get mad at me for what I'm about to do. For those of you that have met me, you'll understand why I did it. I have physical disabilities from an injury. So I played into something. So bear with me for a moment while I explain. Because when this dude came out and kind of grabbed me by the shoulder and wanted to know why I was looking into his window, oh, I'm so sorry. I'm looking for my aunt's room. We're staying the night here and I got lost. I don't know where I am and I can't find her. So he takes me back to the office and then goes on about the rest of his night. The only reason I tell you this story in the manner that I just told it to you is because 4 weeks later, this man was in divorce court. 4 weeks later, I got called to the stand to testify about the pictures that I took. And he heard me talking just like this. And you saw all of the color drain from his face. So I tell you this not to brag about myself, but to help you understand that there will be times that I will know things that I may not share with you right away, like how the fundraising stuff works, because I've heard bigger name people than me insisting that he's going to be replaced. He still may, but if he does and it's not Kamala Harris, they have to start over. And they only have 4 months to do it. They have painted themselves into a corner that they can't get out of. They have painted themselves into a corner that they may never be able to get out of. And that's just the truth of it. And I don't say any of that lightly. I don't. Oh, that's why I didn't do this part right. I was like, what in the world? All right. So anyway, sorry. Like I said, there was lots of quick moving parts tonight. So the production quality has not been what it normally is because half my stuff isn't working. But for those of you joining us for the first time, I do hope everybody has been enjoying the broadcast. We do have a few minutes left because we got a late start. So let's just for fun take a quick hit around places like Town Hall and see what they've been talking about today. Because since it's a Sunday, I haven't done as much as I wanted to. So this is from Matt Vespa and actually just went out a little bit ago. Biden is staying, and one voice was adamant about Joe not caving to outside pressure. We talked about this a little bit, but we're going to go into it a little bit more detail as we start wrapping up the show. This is, again, Matt Vespa from Town Hall. Not that I was expecting Joe Biden to drop out, but the chatter was becoming deafening among liberal circles. Still, the campaign is in a state of chaos over the president's disastrous debate, sending unhinged fundraising emails that will indeed create more headaches among Democrats. The day's message is that Biden is the nominee, and you can do nothing about it. Also, share these trite and laughable false talking points to keep Joe alive politically in 2024. So after Biden's catastrophic debate against Trump, the president met with his family at Camp David to discuss the way forward. Joe is staying, but one family member was quite adamant that the president does not kowtow to outside pressure and drop out. And this individual wasn't actually Jill. Al talked about this a little bit first on Sunday Night with Alan Ray too. It was actually Hunter that was insistent. Now again, she started the charge. She said, "No, we're not leaving." Now, when the family did their meeting, because they were already planning on getting together for the holiday. So when the family got together and they did their little emergency meeting about the debate, it wasn't Jill that was the most adamant that he not leave. It was Hunter. But again, the reason he won't be made to leave unless they 25th Amendment him and have the Kami Lama step in. And only the cabinet and only she can do that at this point. But again, they can't really do that either, because then that proves that they know how broken he is, and they can't let you see that they know. That's why they keep trying to convince you that he's not as broken as you think he was. It was cold medication. That was the other thing. That was the other one of the great things that I heard from Keith Olbermann is, oh my God, it was cold medicine. And that makes so much sense as somebody that's used over-the-counter medication. Al talked about that last hour too. I use over-the-counter medication all the time. I have to, because with the amount of talking that I do and the broadcast work that I do and everything else, I suffer from bronchitis quite often, because a lot of people don't realize the weird way that you have to talk to make stuff sound right when you're doing radio. So it leads to you breathing in a very particular way that if you do it for a very long time and for very long periods, you eventually get things in your lungs that wouldn't normally be in your lungs, and it leads to bronchitis. For the longest time, because I was doing this and working in call centers, I had chronic bronchitis. Now I don't get it as much as I used to, because now I really only do this. But I say all of this because, again, I want you to understand, Joe doesn't even know where he is. That was pretty obvious when Jill came up on the stage, and I think I still have that. Hang on. I used it the other day. So I wasn't really planning on playing it today, but I think I still have it. Hang on. I just remembered I have things muted, so hang on. First things first, would you stop? Okay.
Joe, you did such a great job. You answered every question. You knew all the facts.
All right, so I'm hoping you guys heard that because, like I said, this is normal. This is not normally how we have to do things. And a second ago there was echo, so this time I just played it the normal way, and it looks like it went through. And it doesn't normally do that unless I'm sharing the screen. So, like I said, I think there's a glitch tonight. But anyway, I need you to understand. She knows how broken he is. She has always known how broken he is. Now, I've talked about this before. I had it on pretty good authority that she wasn't this type of person. When they first got together, there was an urban legend that had been circled around that there was one time that she was called to meet with the rest of the family, and she was basically told, this man will be president someday, and you better not get in the way. Now, so for the longest time, I kind of thought she was like a passenger in all of this and just trying to stay out of the way. That may have been how it started. That is not how it ended. Because I'm just going to be honest. This man is 81 years old? And like him or not, he's somebody's grandfather. He's grandfather to several kids, one of which he doesn't claim. That makes him an asshole in my book. But one of which he doesn't claim. So I need you guys to understand exactly what I'm talking about tonight as we start wrapping things up. This is not a good family. No matter what the media tries to tell you, this is not a good family. These people are a bunch of vipers. These people are only looking out for themselves. And you need to understand this because now that you know the type of people that you're dealing with, you need to go back and look at everything that people like me have been trying to tell you for the last 4 years. Because now that their mask is off, you need to go back and look at all of the things that we've tried to tell you and all of the things that we've tried to show you with fresh eyes. You just do. Because it will help you connect the rest of the dots. And the powers that be don't want you to connect those dots. They can't have you do that. Because once you can see them for who they are, you'll understand. And I'm not saying the Trump family is that much better. I'm saying right now the Trump family is better than what we have because at least Donald Trump wants the country working and wants us to be safe. Now, it may lead to another fight on another day. I don't know. But I do know that if we don't make a change in November, assuming that we still have the ability to even make that change coming in November, none of it is going to matter. Absolutely none of it. All right. Well, believe it or not, folks, that's going to pretty much do it for this particular program. I will not be back tomorrow. I'm off Monday. First Monday of the month is pretty much my only day off. And it's not even really a complete day off. It's the day I run errands and do a lot of behind the scenes crap. But it's the day that I'm not in front of a camera or in front of a microphone. Other than that, I'll be back Tuesday through Friday this week doing the Rick Robinson Show. There will be a Rick Robinson Show on July 4th. There will not be programming unless anybody else wants to do stuff on the 4th because I'm giving the rest of the staff the night off because it's 4th of July. I'll be doing my 4th of July stuff on Saturday. So John and I will not be doing a Going Mental. I'm going to talk to him to see if he wants to do that on Friday night or maybe Wednesday night because I think we're going to have a programming hole that we can fill with that one. And then either way, we may be stacking the deck Friday because we'll do He Said, She Said on Friday, which 7:30, usually 7:30, 8:30 Eastern, usually runs until 10 Eastern. Then John and I will do Going Mental if he doesn't want to do it on Wednesday, and then probably do a short version of Juxtaposition because we haven't put one of those out in a while, and Orty's unavailable this week, and I won't be available on Saturday because reasons. Other than that, you can find me pretty much here almost every day, either pushing buttons for somebody or behind a microphone. He Said, She Said on Tuesday nights. Wednesdays, usually Full Boat, whatever, with myself and Stacy, 7 p.m. Eastern. Usually Conservative Curmudgeon, 8 p.m. Eastern. He's been on hiatus for the summer, though. Then 8 p.m. Eastern. For this week, actually, he's 8 p.m. Eastern, sorry. Then usually after that, 9 p.m. Eastern. This week will be FUBAR. Not sure. Actually, I guess that's right. We won't. We will for 7. So never mind. Sorry, I'm thinking to myself out loud while my dogs are starting to freak out about something. 10 p.m. Eastern will be Rick and Orty. We will be off for the 4th, so no programming Thursday night. Friday night, He Said, She Said, Going Mental most likely, and an abbreviated Juxtaposition. Then I'll be off Saturday, back again on Sunday. When I'm not doing all that, you can find me as the executive producer of the Loftus Party podcast, which normally drops on Tuesdays. You can find me as a contributor at twitchy.com, misfitspolitics.com, and also theloftusparty.com. But on that note, folks, it is time for us to get out of here. Enjoy your Sunday night, and thank you so much for hanging out with us, and we'll see you when we see you. But this one is officially over.
Over? Did you say over? Nothing is over until we decide it is. Was it over when the Germans bombed Pearl Harbor? Hell no!
Closing time. Open all the doors and let you out into the world.
This isn't over until I say it's over!
Closing time.
Well, that's great. That's just fucking great, man. Now what the fuck are we supposed to do? Game over, man. It's game over.
Closing time. Time for you to go out to the places you will be from. Closing time. This room won't be open till your brothers or your sisters come.
I love you, Oklahoma. What a great crowd. I love you.
Say goodnight, Gracie.